I'd like to invite the leaders of our National Association for Music Education to join me, Michael Butera, Mike Blakesley, Glenn Neerman. Please help me welcome them to our stage. We've been very grateful to have the National Association for Music Education's National Executive Board meeting here. Many of you might hopefully still be with us if you haven't needed to leave beautiful Southern California before today. And we've just been so grateful. And as we know, NAfME has been a longtime partner in the SupportMusic Coalition. So welcome to another webcast that we get to see. And
Thanks,
thank
Mary.
you so much for being with us. So what was the essence of your meeting this week with your executive board? And just give us a snapshot of what you came together to do.
What we're looking at is the long-term implications for music education in our nation's schools and what teachers need in order to be able to do the work they want to do every day, and how we can organizationally support that to do what we know is right, and that is that music education orchestrates success. It does it every day for every student, given the opportunity for that student to participate.
And we heard some of the reasons why.
We certainly did.
Dr. Krause shared with us. Glenn is the current president of NAfME. What are some of your pressing concerns in the field? Is the field expanding, contracting? What's the current concerns?
I think this is a very exciting time. Some of you may know we have a new set of standards now that are available, and we're working on higher order processing skills. Students are, I think, excited about this new approach, and the challenges are going to be to have the facilities, the equipment, and frankly the teachers. We need to make sure that we have a good supply of teachers to meet the demand for our schools. In fact, we're talking in our board meeting just today about one of the issues we're going to take up when we leave this session is about the importance of teacher recruitment and continuing to have well-qualified music educators in the classroom.
So that gives rise to a question about how is music education changing? I mean, we're no doubt confronted by a lot of the technology and, the things that Dr. Krause has shared with us too. We're getting more information about the actual cognitive process, so the brain process. So how is the field changing? I'd welcome from any of you, your perspectives.
Why don't you take it first, Glenn?
Okay. Well, I think we've been used to a band, chorus, orchestra, jazz mediums to deliver our curriculum in the past, and I think it's expanding. We're seeing all kinds of exciting opportunities, things in composition, new software available, GarageBand that makes it very easy to compose without a lot of background knowledge. And so this is exciting for our students in the field. Guitar classes, lots of new and exciting things happening in the schools that frankly 15 years ago were not very prevalent at all.
So it's changing rapidly, you would say?
I would say very rapidly.
Yeah, and as technology is part of that rapid change, right?
Absolutely, and boy, meeting here with at the NAMM show here to see all of the technology available on the floor and the things that can be done is just amazing. It opens up exciting possibilities, and I think our board was really excited about being here for that very reason.
I always like to think of it that these tools and resources are just raining down on the field of music education, but we need the discernment or the decisions from the field to help guide what's applicable in the learning process. And I think, and we also like to talk at NAMM about we really want to help lower the threshold for music experiences. The drum circles, the ukulele circles, all the things that we celebrate here during the NAMM show, and it seems like there's an acceptance about that, especially around technology. Do you all kind of feel that it's actually lowering the threshold of entry?
Ultimately, I think it will. I don't know if you go online very often. I do know you go online.
Oh, a little bit, right.
And, you see things like technology bands that perform online. Yeah. You see the software that Glenn has already mentioned. So the tools available for us to make music education available to broader and broader audiences, particularly audiences in disadvantaged communities, are available to us. Now, we do have other issues associated with this, and that is making sure that policymakers and principals and school administrators who probably are not schooled in music have a real understanding of the value of music. Like your research presenter here a little bit earlier, this is a big part of what we have to do. Every teacher in the field of music has to go about the business now of educating their administration about the value of music to those students, and in a broad way.
Well, that's the core work of our Support Music Coalition.
Right.
I mean, that's really the essence of what we are trying to do, to support a network of advocates and the network of advocacy work. Mike, you've from your first days as a violin teacher in
That's right.
Venezuela?
Well, no, I
Argentina?
taught in Colombia first.
In Colombia, wrong, right continent, wrong country.
Right.
But you know, you've been involved with first MENC for many years. You've seen many changes. Are we at a crest of a new day? Are we moving forward in the
I think we're moving
exciting
forward, but
directions?
we've got some real challenges. So Glenn mentioned that we have some new standards, and they make it clear that the business of music education is really serious. It's about three things: creating, performing, and responding. And when you think about it, that's what we want for all of our kids. Kids need to have a handle on creating in order to be successful in our world. They need to know how to perform, whether it be on an instrument or in a job, and they need to know how to respond to the world around them and to their peers and to their society. So music can contribute all this, but the policymakers don't necessarily understand that. You know, there's a draft bill in the House right now.
Tell me about it.
Yeah. Okay, and Mary, you remember this because you were there. 20 years ago, as a coalition, we fought effectively to have music or the arts listed as a core academic subject. Now, the whole idea of having core academic subjects listed might go away. That would be a huge step backward. We need to make sure that everybody understands the inherent and just incredible power of music to help kids' lives be shaped. And that has to be followed through, not just with standards, but at every level with every sort of public policy initiative we can find.
You know, I think the new national standards are very inspiring because it provides a lot of, I would say, breadth for creative teaching from the realm of technology through the basics in elementary school right up. But you know, it is, I think, a new era that maybe other generations of teachers, we have to spend more time teaching about the value of instruction.
Sure.
Right, not just the performance at the holiday concert or the spring concert, but to invite people into the classroom and to actually demonstrate and you might say, well, why do we have to do that? Well, it's what we have to do, right?
It absolutely is.
Because if we are considered core, when we are core, we have to demonstrate core value. And I think it's beyond the performance and the twice a year.
Well, you know, if we're really kind of honest with each other,
Which we always have been.
well, we are. Yeah. One of the things we have to deal with that's really important is some of the problems we have within our profession in terms of what gets promoted. So whether you're the high school band director or you teach preschool or you're a general music educator in the elementary grades, we have to see music education along this broad continuum. It's something we start very early. Yes, we do through high school, through college, through life. You know, if we want music education to survive and for children to have an opportunity to study and make music, it's not just about all those students who will, you know, ultimately just play an instrument in their high school band.
Like these tremendous kids
Yeah, it's
on the
just
stage.
spectacular work we saw here a little bit ago.
And we want that will continue.
That work has to continue,
right.
and we have to make sure that in our advocacy as individual teachers and as organizations, we promote the whole of music education. So it's choral, it's general, it's the drumming world that we now have. It's about all kinds of new forms, mariachi in certain areas. This great opportunity we have because of the wonderful country we live in, which is very diverse, well, we have to be more diverse about the way we offer this subject, this discipline that we all believe and love and think should be in every student's daily work.
In having these dialogues about should it be this or should it be that or should it be that or should it be this, it's always like it has to be this and that.
That's
It
right.
has to be this and that. We are in a new kind of collaborative, additive world But ultimately, what we want is the opportunity, so it can be all those things,
Yeah.
right? And that's the policy work and the advocacy work.
One of the great things about the Support Music Coalition is this relationship that has been built and continues to be built and strengthened between music educators and the industry itself. And quite frankly, if it weren't for NAMM, and I think organizations like ourselves and the people who make them up, we wouldn't be making the strides that we are. We have to be forceful about making this respectfully irreverent sometimes. But
Relentlessly positive, respectively irreverent.
That's right.
So we're adding up our,
That's
right?
right.
And I think we have to be concrete, because so if we're going to get kids to do creating, performing, and responding, say through a band, maybe, just maybe, you need a place for them to rehearse. Maybe you need a little time taken away from testing. Maybe you need a teacher who has the specialized knowledge to do that. So we have what we call opportunity to learn standards for that. And until people are able to have honest discussions about that, we're not going to be able to guarantee a given music program delivers to kids unless that program is supported adequately.
Right, and we have to sometimes educate administration what that support looks like, right, Glenn?
Exactly. Administrators and parents alike sometimes.
Right.
Very,
Yes.
very important. Might add that the goal of those new standards, we talk about making our students artistically literate for life. And that's really what we're about in these new process-oriented standards, is to have them experience the art forms in ways that won't just stop when they leave high school, or when they finish a required 8th grade music program, that it will continue for a lifetime, and they'll be audience members, or they'll be performing or creating using GarageBand or whatever.
But you know, this is why I think the standards are so great, the new standards, because I don't think we actually thought that way before.
I agree.
Agree?
You're right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I think we aspired to do that, but we never had a deliberate framework that actually described it. So I think it's great. I do.
And we have to do it in a way that the regular classroom music educators can articulate that not only to their students, but to themselves and to their other teachers. It's funny how issues change over time. Puat used to be a thing where all the other teachers complained about the music teacher pulling out.
That's pull out.
Yeah.
It's not something on a Thai restaurant.
Oh, that's.
Pull out, where you take students out.
Although if I went to the restaurant, I'd be happy to eat it.
Right.
But now what's happened is that's kind of reversed its way out, so that now the pull outs.
Pull out.
Yeah,
Okay.
right. Oftentimes are from music classes, so that they can get extra
Right.
reading or extra math. We're going to give them another 10 minutes, and they're going to be great at that. So these issues migrate from time to time, and we have to be smart enough. We have to know the research, like was presented here today. We have to have partners in the retail music community and among ourselves to make this case all the time, so that students have a real opportunity to learn, enjoy, and demonstrate that music education orchestrates success.
I've heard from each of you, I've heard a call to action. So, we might, if you want to kind of wrap up here, but I'd also like to say, if you had a magic wand, and if there could be a policy action that, without any advocacy or making phone calls or writing draft language or anything else that we really have to do all the time,
That's
or
a
going
big
to
magic
school
wand,
board
yeah.
meetings, that it could just happen, what would it be?
Well,
I mean, what are we working for in terms of the click, click, click that'll create this access we dream of?
we want everyone to understand how important music education is, and that might be by state adopting those standards, and then putting the teeth and the resources behind them to make it real, so that we can orchestrate success for all those
So
kids.
we need more than the wand, is what you're saying.
Yeah, we need a big stick.
We need a big stick. How about you, Glenn?
I'd say we have a great opportunity in this reauthorization of the No Child Left Behind, or the Elementary and Secondary Education Act. It's a slippery slope. We could come out a loser if things are not handled well with advocacy and with our partners and so forth. But there's great opportunity there, and just that little thing about having music be on par with the other STEM subjects is extremely critical. If I could wave my magic wand and not have to fight that battle and it would automatically happen, that's what I'd wish for.
And you?
For me,
what?
it's building community. That is the community of educators, the community that you teach in, and the community of people who will be involved in music all their life. If we could demonstrate, if we could work hard at having a community, a family understanding of the value of music, many of the policy issues would fall in place.
Right.
So we need to promote ourselves in a respectful way, and students will be better off for what we do.
And I will tell you that the Support Music Coalition today is just about at 10,000 organizations, schools, individuals, and maybe
Great.
that's part of that community that can make this
Absolutely.
happen.
It is.
Please thank our leadership from the National Association for Music Education. Thank you.